Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. I am Hero Dadia. Clearly, if you see in terms of markets, a pretty volatile ride. Just before we started the show, when I was checking at around 3 o'clock, we were slightly under pressure, but now we are at the day's highest levels at 19,841. That's the high. That we've hit so far as we speak. The advanced decline ratio as well, pretty much in favor of the bulls, and a good spike coming in the last 15 minutes of trade in terms of bank nifty as well, where we are above the 45,650 levels in trade. Where is the interest and what are investors bracing for? Joining us on the show to discuss more is Ajit Mishra, VP at Religare. Ajit, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Hiral.
Ajit, my first question coming to you is the bullish momentum continues in the last 15 minutes of trade. We've seen a sudden spike that has come in terms of Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. And there is strong options activity at 19,800. And there is that indication that the Nifty index is trying to inch towards the 20,000 levels. What's your read?
So that's right. Hiral, in fact, if you have been noticing this, it's been a trend for almost a month now that we've hardly seen any correction, price-wise correction. In fact, the kind of consolidation that we had of late within this 19,300 to 550 range was a very nominal, price-wise correction that we had. And again, we are seeing that Nifty is inching towards record high with every passing day. So 19,800 was the seller was trying to defend today, but as we are closing above that mark thanks to Reliance, wherein we are seeing good traction today in the last hour of the session. And the other index majors like Bajaj Finance also contributed to the move after a very long, sideways to profit taking phase. So we feel that yes, 20,000, the next milestone is something that we are eyeing as a key hurdle, when it comes to the index. But the way we are seeing, rotational buying across sectors, plus the supportive tone from the US market, this is something that is very seems very achievable. So it may be a possibility that tomorrow, being the weekly expiry, sellers may manage to hold this level of 20K. But maybe in a week or two, we are going to test and maybe surpass this level also.
Right. So overall, if you see in terms of 19,800 strike, right? Now there is more put writing as compared to call writing at these levels, and it's almost twice the number. What is the cue that you're booking up? Is that actually telling you that that bullish momentum is something that will be continued?
So, you know what, that in morning things were different. Like the sellers were kind of like, seems in control. But as you rightly mentioned, that now we are seeing the pickup in the put writers at 19,800 strike. And it's, but largely if you'll focus, then select index majors like, Reliance, Bajaj, and L&T, these are some of the big names who are contributing to the move. And in case if we closely see the data, let's say when it comes to the index, gainers and losers, you will find like Bajaj Finance, L&T, NTPC, SBI. So it's not that any particular counter, it's a broad-based buying that we are seeing across sectors in the index majors, which is helping to maintain the positive tone. So maybe, it's going to be important where we open tomorrow. In case if we manage to open our 19,800 mark, then maybe closer to around 19,900 to 19,850 could be the area where Nifty may expire.
Right. So overall, where is the resistance coming at? Because that becomes crucial. The resistance level will tell you as to, how far are we going to be from those 20,000 levels?
So the resistance is now, technically we don't have any resistance as such because we are in the uncharted territory and, we are seeing rotational buying across sector. But yes, psychological mark, the new milestone is going to be the key hurdle, which is 20K. In between, anywhere we can take a pause, maybe around 850, 900 levels. But the major hurdle is going to be like, closure around 20,000 mark is what we are eyeing.
Okay. And moving on, participation of Bank Nifty is something which everyone is eyeing from here on. What's your view and, where do you see the resistance and support in terms of Bank Nifty?
So yes, in fact, two sectors basically, not only the banking, but banking and IT is something that we are keeping a close eye on. Banking, why? Because of late, when the Nifty was witnessing a very narrow range consolidation, there was a decent correction in the banking index, which resulted in the index to retest these short-term averages around 44 500 levels, and then the single day rebound was almost like towards the new record high. So we feel that still we have a room when it comes to banking index close to around 46,500, 47,000 levels is something there's a possibility that banking may test. At the same time, 31,600 is the key area that we are eyeing in the Nifty ID index. So we all know the kind of underperformance that we have seen in the IT pack in last 1.5 years. So in case it manages to surpass, then there could be a possibility that we might see more legs to this up move and Nifty test 20,000 mark in the near future.
Right. Now, coming to stock-specific action, let's talk about a couple of names which are seeing a short build-up in today's session. Names like ICICI Prudential, Coforge, Tata Power. What should the strategy be with these names?
It's a normal profit taking that we are seeing some of these names, especially like ICICI Pru. It's almost like 390 to 600 plus zone kind of move. And then post numbers now we are seeing a bit of a profit taking or a breather. So I believe that this zone close to 530, 35 could be the area where it might face some support and witness some consolidation before making further upward. Tata Bar, we are not seeing decisiveness at the higher level. So it's a kind of like, more of a consolidation phase that the stock is in. So let the stock stabilize above, 225, 230 levels for any fresh longs. Otherwise, you can wait for an area around 210 to enter. So these are some of the names which one can avoid, for a time being now instead of going shorts. Because since the tone is positive, we are not looking for short candidates as of now.
Okay. And overall, if you see in terms of, let's look at names like Polycab, NTPC, a long build-up coming in on these names. What's your view?
So Polycab, so it's almost from 34,500 to almost 4,300 plus zone, in less than like 7-8 trading sessions. It's very difficult to enter these levels, even after such a phenomenal surge, and because the risk reward is not favorable. But in case if somebody is holding position, then today's low, maybe close to around 48,200 is something that one should maintain as a stop loss. And since it's trading at the record highs, one can keep on trading their stop losses on every rise. The other stock was, can you please name the other stock once?
Sorry? We were talking about Polycab and NTPC.
NTPC, yes. So NTPC is also like, maintaining positive tone, almost tested the record highs, but we are seeing a bit of a profit taking from the higher levels. So there's a possibility that we might again see some of the consolidation around the record highs, but it's a healthy consolidation. We are seeing a very steady uptrend. So if somebody is looking for any fresh position, one can go down even at the current levels. And 188 to 185 zone is something that we expect the stock to hold now. So positionally around 210 to 15 is something that we are eyeing. So one can definitely look NTPC for a long candidate.
Right. So that's with regards to where NTPC goes. Moving on in terms of other names as well, if you see, you have Bajaj Finance, which is seeing some smart moves, as well as an IndusInd Bank as well. What's your view and what should the strategy be?
So Bajaj Finance, almost 2 years that we have been seeing this consolidation continuing, means 78.50 was the level that we were trading in the month of October 2021. Since then, we have not crossed that mark decisively. Of late, we have made an attempt wherein the stock made a high close to around 8,000 mark in early July. But post that, we have seen a decent correction. So this dip is basically offering you a buying opportunity. So with stop at 7,400 level, definitely one can look for buying fresh in Bajaj Finance. And maybe in the next leg, we are going to see a new record high, a sustained move rather in Bajaj Finance. In the IndusInd Bank also we are seeing gradual recovery and comparatively doing better in comparison to the other private banking majors. So let's say ICICI, Axis, the momentum is missing. In fact, the Kotak we are seeing recovery, but it's not very very decisive move that we are seeing. On the other hand, IndusInd Bank has been maintaining the positive tone and inching higher. Today we have seen decent volumes also. with the uptick in price. So all indications are favoring that it might inch toward 1510 to 1550 levels in the near future. So with stop at 1390, one can definitely look for fresh longs in IndusInd Bank as well.
Right. Overall, if you see in terms of other names, you have a L&T Finance and let's look at the ITC. Both of these counter strong OI addition, strong moves in the cash market, long positions being built as well. What should the strategy be?
So L&T Finance is also like among the one of the best performing name in the NBFC basket of late, and the stock is still holding above the short-term averages. That clearly indicates the tone is positive. We need a sustainability above 128, and if I'm not wrong, we have results scheduled today. So as a trader, your stop should be at 128, and in the next swing could be closer to around 150, 55 is something that this it may test. So yes, you can continue to hold this stock. And what was the other stock, Eden? ITC,
The
right?
other stock, yes, ITC.
ITC is also not showing any sign of slowdown. So though we see a bit of a breather or a consolidation in a very narrow range, which kind of like indicates a kind of exhaustion or a pause. But by the end of the day, we are holding up the averages, short-term averages. So as long as we are holding up 20 EMA, which currently lies around 464, one should not look for shorting position or exiting the stock, even if you are a short-term trader. So one can in fact look for fresh long also. The way we are seeing the kind of volume that we are seeing in today's session, and the stock has almost there at the record highs. So with stop at let's say around the 472, one can look for fresh long with 490, 95 as a positional target.
Right. A few other names, where you are seeing some bit of short covering that's happening actually in today's session. Let's look at SBI or even for that matter, Aditya Birla Fashion, IEX. What should your strategy be?
So as a disclosure, we have recommended SBI to our clients, and if I'm not wrong, the target is around 630, 635, the immediate target, and position around 645. So yes, one can definitely look. In fact, interestingly, today within the banking space, the PSU bankings are outperforming. So SBI, Canara Bank, these are the names which were on our radar, and one can definitely look at SBI for sure from this basket.
Right. Apart from this, Ajit, any other recommendations that you have, for investors?
So we are seeing very steady uptrend when it comes to the hotel stock and Indian hotel. We have seen a very recent consolidation, after a very strong up move. So it's almost looks set for a new high, and in today's session, it's almost like double of the average volume. So with stop of around 390, one can look for fresh buying with the target of around 420, 25 as an immediate target in Indian hotel. And similar kind of a structure that we have in BEL also. The stock is trading around the record highs in a very narrow range consolidation, and since we are seeing the positive tone continuing in the defense space, we expect this consolidation to end with a breakout. So with stop of around 124, in fact, one can accumulate BEL also at the current levels for 135, 140 as a position target.
Right. So these are few of the names, and it's interesting, Ajit, to see how we are closing at the day's highest levels. 19,847 is the closing number that's coming in so far in terms of provisional. How are you looking at tomorrow's session according to this kind of data and setup?
So indication looks positive, to be honest, and the way the other index majors which were not participating, or maybe they were sitting on the sidelines, we are seeing participation. So that clearly indicates that plus banking also have managed to end with the decent gains. So all these factors are indicating that we're going to either open on a flat note or a positive note. So negative opening seems very unlikely, provided something happens overnight in the US market.
Yes. I think we lost some bit of connectivity, but thank you, Ajit, so much for sharing those views as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how markets move from here on and how tomorrow's session pans out. Thank you. Stay safe and speak to you soon again.
Thanks, thank you.